Planet X Filmworks Paradigm Review Show. Welcome to the show. We told you we'd bring you guys action back. We are back. Accident Man 2. We'll let Mac pick us up on Accident Man 1 and the Accident Man trilogy franchise because he's seen it the most recently. I saw part 1 back in the day. I thought I told you guys like part 1 was better because like, it had Jai White. I think it really nailed that over the top crazy, hitman using accidents type of concept that they were going for. I don't know if it was the same directors. In part 2, it was the Kirby Brothers that directed this, and I thought we'll definitely talk about their directing the review. I thought it was dope. Probably one of the strong suits of the film. Of course, Scott Adkins. We're Scott Adkins fanboys here at PXF. I'm actually Ross Atkins, so that shows you how that goes. Anyway, it's been a while since the Three Musketeers have been together, so boys, you know what I mean? Do your drops and let everybody on PXF know where to find you guys.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Mac the Rebel PXR, which is going to be the last time I'm going to talk about following me on this, since Mac the Critic IG will come up soon. But yeah,
nice.
Mac the Rebel PXR on IG, and also on I believe on Twitter, the same thing, Max the Rebel PXR. So yes, but yeah, find me on there.
Yo, no doubt.
MC Bollick, aka Gaz McLeod, the Highlander.
Yeah. I'll be hitting the battle rap scene soon with my latest persona, MC Bollick, to really bring the horror of how someone who really can't spit bars to familiarize you with Bollick, which is such a pleasant experience. Anyway,
it feels like it sounds.
Oh man, you actually, to no surprise, can't actually find me on anti-social media at the moment. I'm taking a hiatus from it, peeps. But at the moment, you can find me at the source for all things PXF, anything related to Planet X Media, which is planetxmedia.net.blogspot.com. In the near future, I probably will return to Twitter and probably start an Instagram, but at the moment it's just the PXM blog. It's where we post everything related to anything we do, Zodiac files, everything on there. That's pretty much where you can find me at the moment.
I think that was his way of saying you can find him here on Paradigm Review Show. Like, subscribe, and share all
that too. Yeah, that too. The show I co-host, which I totally forgot about now that we're live.
Plug the show while we're live. Works every time. So Mac, Accident Man 2, Action 2022. We told you guys we would get Action back. We told you guys we'd get Scott Adkins back. So what's the Accident Man franchise about, Mac? Let us know.
Recently, from what I saw, Accident Man, for people who aren't aware of it, it is based off a comic strip, I believe written by Pat Mills and Tony Skinner. It's a British comic, in fact.
I think they might have graphic novels as well.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they do. It's basically a series, So, so super basically, fun. Yeah, and Accident Man was pretty much one of the films that came on 2018. Scott Adkins plays as Mike Fallon, an assassin, also known as Accident Man, who pretty much performs his assassinations to make it look like an accident, on most of his clients, most of his targets. And the first one basically was just an introduction, he was pretty much in the game for a while. He had I believe, a love interest that passed away in the first one, and mainly, basically, he's pretty much trying to figure out how she got killed. I'm sorry, they broke up, and then he later found out like she got killed, and he's just mainly just trying to figure out who killed her, and it turns out like it could be related to a person and part of his circle known as the Firm, which is in the assassination guild that he was a part of. So yeah, and throughout the whole film, he's just kicking ass, taking names, and just pretty much figuring out who killed who. Ray Stevenson also was in the film. He's also in this sequel. Ray Stevenson, I think, is definitely a good choice in this film, just because it shows the him as the ally, but also he can also be the antagonist in this also. So it shows the tensions between the two and all that, while he's trying to figure out who killed his ex-girlfriend. And yeah, man, and just to spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the first one, he pretty much finds out who did it, and he pretty much found out that which led up to the events of leading him go against Big Ray, which is Ray Stevenson's character. And yeah, it was very climactic at that point, to where I thought that Ray Stevenson was gonna get it, but he didn't get it gladly, because he would be in the sequel if he didn't get it. So sure. So yeah, man. Other than that, that's pretty much where they left off. Is Accident Man just pretty much back within the good graces of the Firm, which is the assassination guild that he was a part of, and yeah, just leads to the opening of Accident Man 2.
So Big Ray is like a crime boss. He's like a former, badass assassin himself, and then
he's basically the mentor of Scott Adkins.
Yeah, 100%.
Everything you needed to know.
Yeah. He's like Mike Fallon, this mentor that taught him the crime, universe. And it's basically another assassin verse, assassin universe, similar to John Wick, but Accident Man is a lot more comedy based, so it's a lot more jokes, a lot funnier, a lot more comedic relief, comedic kills.
And I expressed that before too, it had a John Wick feel to it, but it was definitely more parody-esque of it. You know what I mean?
Part 1 is a freaking masterpiece. I don't know if that's the Kirby Brothers, but Michael Jai White, I like how that one he went up against so many of them in that one, and there was that big conglomerate of them. I think part 1 was freaking awesome. So that's why I wanted to get into part 2 and tell you guys a little bit about it. I'd say right off the bat on the strong suits, like I said, I don't know if the Kirby Brothers directed part 1, but the Kirby Brothers directed part 2. It's absolutely fire. I want to get into their directing style a little bit with Gaz, because Gaz has a good martial arts background. Just what you thought of the combat sequences, Gaz. And the setting takes place in Malta. I don't know if you guys know where Malta is, but it's all the way south island of the Mediterranean, which is even south of Sicily. It's the small southern island of Sicily, right in the middle of the Mediterranean. So man, I don't know if I was going to bring it to you guys. Have you ever seen a movie that was filmed in Malta? Except for the Maltese Falcon, I don't know if there's anything else.
Only one or two, and I might not be 100% on this, didn't Van Damme film something way back in the day in Malta or somewhere there?
He might have. I don't know for exactly. We'll have to Google it.
Malta is very popular with Brits, and the Accident Man 2 has a very Southern Brit centric humor. The slang, the lingo, the humor is very much from down south, and I don't mean this in an arrogant or rude way here, but to any Brits, coming across this, think of EastEnders on location in Malta with lots of cursing and action scenes. That reference might be lost in anyone else.
Because Scott is from the Midlands, or he's from Manchester. One of them.
Well, but I'm sure. I'd have to check this. I think he sounds like he's from down south because he's got a southern accent. It's not Manchester because that's northwest.
He's from the Midlands.
Yeah, he's from the Midlands, and then Big Ray is from up by you, isn't he, guys? Is it Ray from up north?
Northern Ireland, mate.
Oh no, he's Irish. Ray Stevenson's Irish.
He is.
Is he from Dublin?
Yeah.
He's the GOAT. So anyway, let's get into some more of these combat sequences, boys. What do you think? So, Let's just talk about how he hires what's his name to kick the shit out of him because he feels bad about like what happened to his friends in part 1. So he comes across this Chinese girl that's an incredible. We got to give her flowers. She's an incredible martial artist, and she jumps him. He pays her to randomly jump him so he can get used to like fighting back freestyle.
I know what you're talking about. Like basically, every time he enters his apartment.
Was that Maggie? What's her name? That's in all those other kung fu movies, dude. She's hilarious. She's funny in this too. I
don't know.
I saw all their names back. So it's called Accident Man's 2, Hitman's Holiday. This is Atkins' passion project, guys. Let's give him a little. The Accident Man is back, and this time he must beat the top assassins of the world to protect the ungrateful son of a mafia boss, save the life of his only friend, and rekindle his relationship with his maniacal father figure. And the other people are Stevenson is Big Ray. She's Sarah Chang, and she plays Wong Su Ling.
Well, what's quite good about all the sequences with her, it's quite a. I don't know if it was intentional or not. I could be way off here. But it's quite a smart nod back to the old school Pink Panther movies where a guy was attacking Inspector Clouseau all the time. Like you walk around the corner, the next thing a guy's attacking him. And what I also liked is, I think the first opening scene where she's possibly attacking him and Scott's like chilling in his apartment watching TV.
Flamingo!
Is the code word. And he's actually watching a very dope full contact karate league, which isn't points based at all.
Gaz was telling us this off
my area. Watching that on TV, so I thought that was a real good nod to Karate Combat, which I highly recommend peeping if no one has. So I love the whole references in that scene, and then the humor in it as well, where he's like just got back from a job, and he's literally like, "Man, I can't get a minute here."
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. She was technically like incredible. So let's talk about this directing style, because I wouldn't call it bullet time, but there's almost like those close-up slow-mos, guys. I was gonna say, guys, is that the first time we've seen that? I don't know if I've seen anyone film that kind of first-person like striking combat with it. Like they have the slowdowns, but they're kind of like zooming up on it. Like if those guys pioneered that style, like I want to see the Kirby Brothers with a budget. Like
I've seen that style before in some action movies, but this one was more. They took more liberty of it.
It was more refined. It was more cleaned up, because anybody could do it like low budget, but it looked good. I'm not saying this is an incredible movie.
Not for this, it had to look good, because it's like every punch that he would throw, it would zoom in on the punch, like you know what I mean, like based off impact, and
even the dodges, like they had everything in there. The feints. It was sick.
Yeah, exactly.
The combat style was fire. I got to give it to him.
I've only ever come across it before in some Asian action movies. Both
I was thinking that
like
too.
Tried action movies a little bit. They had a bit of a Hardcore Henry approach as well. The way they were
100%. I like Hardcore Henry. I was thinking Equilibrium, but Equilibrium's back 99, so that's like 23, 24 years ago now.
Yeah, I mean, Equilibrium to me was more like Gung Fu,
Yeah, agreed. It's more firearms. I just meant more of like the slow-mo effect,
Oh yeah, the slow-mo effect, yeah, definitely.
And not in a corny Matrix biting off way, you know what I mean? Shout out to the John Wick 4 trailer. I'll probably just give you guys my thoughts on it on Twitter. You can follow me on the Twitter. The links are below in the description. I heard Donnie Yen is the villain. I know that. I watched like half of it. Apparently, Scott Adkins is in that trailer. You can look on Twitter and see who all is in John Wick 4, but it's apparently a lot of people. So hopefully, I don't know if Accident Man 2 helped Adkins get that look, or if he was already on the radar. But the Accident Man series is hilarious, guys. If you like action comedy, if you like Scott Adkins, of course, who doesn't like Ray Stevenson? I will say I don't really think Ray Stevenson had like an incredible performance in Accident Man 1. I thought a lot of people think he fell flat in that one, but I think they fixed that in part 2 by making him like most of the movie.
Yeah.
I think he felt like he owed Adkins and the Accident Man fans like a dope performance, and he did give it in Accident Man 2. Matter of fact, I would say Ray Stevenson's probably the highlight of the movie, not even Scott Adkins himself, who does literally all of the work. So he's got to get his credit too. Let's talk about some of these fights. So obviously, he links up with his friend in Malta, and that dude is hilarious. That makes the traps.
You're talking about Finicky Fred, I think.
Dude, Finicky Fred is ridiculous, man. He's the perfect sidekick for Adkins. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. He's like as Scott Adkins is to Punisher, he's like to Micro.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking that as well. Of course, Ray Stevenson, Punisher, Warzone. There's let's get into some. What you guys think about some of these combat scenes? Obviously, there's like some hilarious kills with the Finicky Fred gadgets, and I like those whole contracts they're doing when they're like they blow off the dude's head with the remote control and all that. Oh no, it was like the solar. It was the solar shield. Spoiler alert! There's some absolutely hilarious kills in this movie.
Plus, I like the montage of gadgets they use and all that to see what's happening.
That's what I was talking about. That shit was funny, man. That shit was funny.
It's hilarious the way they open up the movie with the whack kind of techno-y music. They literally said what probably a lot of people would be thinking who aren't fans of that music. You know, you've got like a whack DJ, you know, skip to the beat now, handbrake turn. Next thing, boom. Yeah. That was hilarious way to open up the movie.
There's some, dude. I'm telling you, that's why I recommended this one to you guys, because like I've been waiting for Adkins to come back for one with the solo, and then two, this is kind of his like passion trilogy. So I am a big fan of part one. So I was like, I just want to see this one. Obviously, the trailer looked good. You guys can see who most of the enemies and opponents.
I need to throw in this fact too. If y'all notice, this is possibly one of the many movies that Adkins has a lot of dialogue. Like you don't hardly. Like, you know,
and Ray Stevenson too. Like Ray Stevenson acted for real in this film. You know, like it's his first time he's acted in a while. You know.
Oh heck yeah! Like I think the last good performance besides this one was Kill the Irishman. Where he played.
Yeah, Kill the Irishman is amazing. You know what? I just realized he was in. What were you watching the other day? Was it The Other Guys? Or yeah. Have you guys seen The Other Guys with Mark?
Oh yeah,
and yes. Ray Stevenson is the head of security. You know what I mean? Like how huh? Yeah. How often he pops up is like, what the frick, man? Like that guy's the man. So anyway, if you guys watch the trailer, you can see like who the opponents are that he goes up against, who the enemy assassins are, and obviously, from the description of the plot we read you guys, you can get that Scott ends up having to defend this that was he a millionaire family or the son of a mafia boss.
Yeah, What was dope?
There's some funny scenes with that kid too.
Yeah, a lot of these actors have been in loads of like UK independent movie series and even other movies. I don't know the names of the.
Well, obviously Scott came from that scene, so
yeah. And what was she? Because she's like the one he warns and he warns somebody, his friend, like, oh, don't mess with the head of this family, and it's the guy, the rich family, the son who he has to protect. It's his mom.
You're talking about the mafia.
There was some funny exchanges there, especially with her head kind of like bodyguard. Scott had some very comical exchanges with him, which made me giggle.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Like those first. So I think that that first big fight is that's like the club. Is it the club scene when he has the security detail? And those guys get. Oh no, that's the military chick. That's like Mike Fallon's like ex-girlfriend or something. Like that was a decent fight. Like for how good she was, she was dumping the clip on him and trying to hit him with the Rambo knife and whatnot. And I'm trying to think. So if you watch the trailer, you'll see the other fights he has. The main ones he keeps going back are the fights with Su Ling, but he's obviously cool with her. Then the big what's the Pogo? Is he the clown?
Oh man, Pogo the clown.
So first Silas comes out and he's like a long-haired tall dude, and they roast him for being like a Brad Pitt wannabe, and Su Ling kind of toasts him, and then Pogo comes out after that, and then I think doesn't one more come out after Pogo? I can't even.
There is I mean, this is later in the movie. The immediate one that comes to my mind, like you said, is the chick from Mossad, the military one. That was dope. But he also has a good fight with
Yumi.
That was fire as well. But the guy, I think he had an axe.
That was the rooftop. Oh, you're talking about the barbarian. He was like a Maori warrior. What was that guy?
Yeah.
Dude, that guy was, so I think he was the one after Pogo, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that guy was crazy.
According to IMDb, his name was Yendi.
Yeah.
What was he though? He was. I think Fallon said what he was in the movie. He was like Romanian or something. I forget why he was like a Viking. What was his origin?
And wasn't he like who was the guy who was he fought somebody who was a cannibal as well?
That was him. I thought it was him.
That was him. Sorry,
yeah.
That was fire. That was
crazy. That was
good.
crazy. So Yumi. Okay, so the Yumi fight is fire. He's like a John Wick level worthy ninja. This is the part where I'm going to be slightly critical, Scott. We don't mean to like criticize your methods here, but they did leak the Yumi fight on social media, and I did see a little bit of it on Facebook, and that kind of pissed me off because dude, it was such a sick fight, Scott. Like, I know, look, Scott Adkins movies get bootlegged wicked bad, so he gets ripped off like bad on money, you know what I mean, which sucks. So it probably makes them feel like now that they need to leak more of the film before it comes out. But like, a trailer is fine for me. I don't need to see every fight because I want to see it in the movie, you know what I mean? Like, just like if you were going to John Wick or something, you want to see Donnie Yen pop off, you know what I mean? So Yumi with the Yumi fight was absolutely fire. Honestly, Fallon, he got tested in that one, and it kind of disappointed me that I ended up leaking a little bit of the fight, you know what I mean? I would have rather just saved it for the movie, but that's my only criticism. Again, I don't think it's going to change anything in the age of social media, but like with martial arts movies, it really matters. At least it matters to me, you know?
No, fire, definitely. That's one of the whole reasons why we're watching them. So I totally feel you there.
But what about you guys? Like, what was your favorite fight? What do you think? Any signature moves? What was your favorite sequence? Mac and then guys.
Well, to me, obviously, I'm just gonna say it. I like the Pogo fight.
You like the Pogo fight?
Look. I'm gonna state my reasons why too.
It was entertaining as hell.
First off, it was entertaining. Second, it was an enemy that you wouldn't even expect would
unorthodox,
and it had very unorthodox fighting style, but uses a giant sledgehammer, and tells like random jokes and quips right during the fight,
clown jokes,
trying to freaking antagonize Mike Fallon even more, man. Dude, if anyone was talking ish to me like that while fighting, man, that shit just you know what I mean?
When I seen Pogo in the trailer, I already knew I was mad. I didn't even need to see the Pogo fight scene. I'm like, what the hell? They put an insane clown in the middle of an assassin universe.
And that was the thing. It was something so totally out of nowhere into the freaking story that you have to be entertained.
And he's still taking the contracts like everybody else,
exactly
trying to get the same kills. Well, all I'm gonna say is a slight spoiler. Pogo, his nerves are dead, so he's immune to pain.
Yeah.
So no matter what he gets hit with, he can just get back up because he doesn't feel any pain. So he just takes every shot.
And that too, come on, an assassin that's just so crazy and bizarre, and you can't hardly put him down. You have to take a lot more to put him down. Come on.
He was too crazy. Gaz, what about you?
The two I mentioned, the standout, the fight against the chick from Mossad, because we were, you were mentioning, we're referencing Equilibrium because it had a mix of the gunplay with martial arts, and I thought she demonstrated quite how we would expect somebody who's trained in Krav Maga, but the Israeli military version of Krav Maga, not the lighter toned down McDojo version, which
sure.
that was dope. I love that whole sequence. The fight against the cannibal guy, I thought that was incredible. That really stood out.
Yeah, his axe work was ridiculous.
The technical aspects to it, the pace, the way it was choreographed, put together, a hell of a lot of work was invested in that. So that was, that was actually that one was my standout even more than.
He had the face tattoo or whatever. I really liked his aesthetic, and he was probably one of the better. I don't know, Mac. I mean, Pogo wasn't really that crazy to me. I mean,
you asked me what my favorite fight scene was.
100%. The choreography of that fight was crazy because of what you said, like his unorthodox movement and like trying to adjust to that as a martial artist. That's what made it interesting. Not to mention how he was able to kill him with.
But I also like the fight scene with the Mossad agent too, so it's not.
Yeah, that was good too. Yeah, she was badass. They took that fight pretty far, so she started shooting at him, and they took it down the hallway, and she pulled the knife on him. They took it to the locker room.
Yeah, I'll tell you which one was actually pretty good as well. Not the obvious, which probably a lot of people like the fight against the ninja, which was great, but
yeah, I'm just getting to that. That's fine.
Yeah. The first time I think we see Sarah Chang attack Scott just after he'd done a job and he's trying to watch karate combat on TV.
I was going to mention that fight was sick, dude.
That was actually insane, especially for the way the guy was taking the hits, break falling, landing to take that amount of punishment.
It's like through the glass. She broke all his brand new stuff, like through the glass table. He's like, watch the TV. She's like, oh yeah, this TV, boom, cracked him. My favorite fight was Oyumi. He was like the elite ninja assassin from Asia, and man, he was so badass. He was when they squared up that first time, Oyumi was so much faster than him. It was ridiculous. He completely beat the bag out of him. He stole Mike Fallon's jacket, totally clowned him, and then they went round and round. And obviously, the way like the Oyumi fight ends, freaking hilarious. Like the whole movie's hilarious and awesome, and the fights are amazing.
Oyumi reminds me of like Storm Shadow, man. Just straight up like a murder.
Exactly, 100%. Oyumi could definitely play Storm Shadow. So, and I can't even find half these people on IMDb. Let me see if Oyumi's on here. I think. Anyway, it's all on Facebook, guys, and you can see. Yeah, there's not that much on here, but you guys can see it on Facebook. You guys want to? We're getting to 27 here. You guys want to rip up some ratings?
Yeah, I do want to talk about, just to mention quickly, some of the standout comedy scenes for me.
Definitely.
Ray Stevenson's introduction, where he's sat in the bar and he's complaining about the poor quality of the full English breakfast.
He has some amazing monologues and lines.
Oh man, that was absolute fire. That was hilarious.
Shit.
Yeah, that was really funny. In fact, Ray, for me, as we said, stood out in the entire movie. I thought
Big Ray had the performance of the film.
Oh, dude, he really shone and delivered
from beginning to end, especially the ending. He really came full circle in the end.
And this shows me, and I'm glad you kind of mentioned that, yes, because that shows me right there that even Adkins can do comedy a little bit, but he does it in his own 100%. Way. To the
100%. It's like a serious slapstick, like satirical, a la It's Always Sunny or whatever.
Exactly. So I definitely do agree with that. And not to mention his dialogue also with Finicky Fred and all that, man, and how those guys interact,
Yeah, the three of them are ridiculous together. He obviously yells cunt at one point, and then before we go to that, those animations at the end when they do the credits and they like animated each character for their end credits, dude, that was sick. That was sick.
Big.
That was a super dope ending.
Cartoon idea.
I'd be down for an animated series if they could get it on Netflix or something decent. Amazon Prime would take it. That's like a The Boys type of thing. So let's do our ratings, boys.
Yeah. Man.
And do you have any more comedy highlights, guys? Or you want to do some ratings?
Well,
because there's a lot of them, dude. Like I said, the
Pogo. I'm probably, my rating isn't too high for this. I even though there's parts.
Mine's not either.
I actually prefer. I do prefer straight up action movies. I do want to Section 8, which was the other latest Scott Adkins movie, which come out in September. I think Dolph Lundgren is in that as well. I need to peep that one.
Nice. I'll do the same.
But yeah, I tell you the other comedy moment. Aside from the Ben Affleck line.
Yeah. There's a lot of celebrity lookalike rips.
Yeah, it was when he poured when he made the son of the rich mobster take all the laxatives and he pour it in the store, and like the store workers just like looking like, what the hell is going on? That was funny.
That was funny. Yeah, he just pouring the powder down his throat with the water. Yeah, that was grimy. Who would do that?
Well, yeah.
How do you guys want to do the ratings?
I'll bring it. Let me kick it off first.
Bring it home.
After watching the first one and then transcended to the second one, the first one I would give a 7, basically just because 7 to a 7.5, just because it was a real good introduction, but
I gave the first one a 7.
Yeah, but number 2 though, I would rate it a little higher just because. It kicked up on the action. It kicked up on the comedy. It kicked up on,
Kicked up on the Ray.
On all that, man. Like, just basically the villains were even more bizarre and crazier in this
100%
one than the first one. And don't get me wrong, I love the first one because Scott Adkins, Michael J. White was in there.
I like the action, and I like the cameos, like you said, and I just like the kills. And also, it was the first time seeing the concept. Like, I didn't know about the strip in the graphic novel. I knew about it, but only from this. So I saw this first. So for me, it was like my first time like being introduced to Accident Man. So I was like, this is a sick concept. Like, this is perfect for Scott,
So yeah, but for 2, just because they heightened it up on all that, I give it like 8.5. I really did like it.
Yeah, it was funny as hell. It had some great action. You want to go, guys?
Yeah. Positives, with some very good action scenes. I did like the way they linked Ray and Scott's buddy, who he was protecting in the early part of the movie before the rich crime family took him hostage. I liked the link back to the first movie. That was quite dope.
Good call.
Like a reason why Ray's traveled to Malta, so that was good.
Decent trilogy. Can we get Donnie Yen? Can we get somebody good for 3?
Yeah, I've got to admit, I'm gonna look. I'm a big massive Scott Adkins fan as well. Pretty much nearly seen everything. But I've got to be honest. I do prefer straight up action. I wasn't that crazy.
I can understand that.
I'm at about probably 5.5, maybe a 6. It was all right.
I mean, I felt that number 1 was slightly more serious, like more like dark comedy, because it was like the dark kills, and it was like, that guy got
not to mention the ex-girlfriend dying.
Yeah, it had that darker twinge to it. So I liked like that raw action, looking at it like it's funny, because like that guy got his head taken off by a motorcycle.
I get a bit, to be honest, fams. I get a bit. I don't know how to put this, but I think with my martial arts, I like it more serious. I don't really like my comedy so much with martial arts. Maybe that's because of my background. People think, oh, you need to lighten up. I don't know. I've just always been like that.
No, I mean, I understand that, but it also has to be like looked at also because this was actually based off of a comic novel that was sort of had that concept of action and comedy also.
Yeah, it was like Scott taking the comedy strip and like converting it, whatever you want, adapting it for a film. But I get both points.
But there's some hilarious moments, and as I say,
100%,
it really is worth watching. For just look, one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie actually isn't an action scene either. So I'm kind of contradicting myself here, but it's Ray's introduction in the bar.
I hear what you're saying.
Hilarious. Anyone who's a Brit will get that. And
the British humor is off the chart.
And it was nice to see something that was. It's got and again, I don't mean this in a rude, arrogant way. I'm not saying, "Oh, I'm from the north, I'm anti-south." Nothing. I don't mean anything like that. But it was very Southern UK centric with the humor and the lingo, which was funny. And
100%. I figured it would get you guys. I mean. But man, like, oh man, this I think it's funny, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, I like Scott Adkins. You guys know, hey man, some of our highest viewed stuff here is like, you know, when we did what's that movie called with Eco?
Was it The Night Comes For Us?
Yes, that's what it was. Thank God Gaz is here. I don't know what we would do without him, guys. Anyway, if anybody has any questions for us or recommendations, we do enjoy mixed martial arts films, kung fu action film, martial arts action. This one happens to be an action comedy, semi-crime. But for me, I actually gave this one a 6 out of 10, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I actually enjoyed the first one more. It only has a 5.9 out of 10 total, whereas the original has a 6.2 out of 10, and I gave that a 7. So they lost me on a couple things here. The Malta backdrop was beautiful. I'm always, it made me want to go on vacation. I'm always looking forward to see Malta. Of course, Scott. Of course, big Ray Stevenson, the GOAT. Both held it down. Kirby Brothers directing. I mean, you definitely. I think. What do I think the highlights of this film are? Probably Kirby Brothers directing. There's some pretty good. The martial artists are great. I don't know if the martial artists are better than the martial artists of Part 1. You know what I mean? Because of course you had Scott, you had Michael Jai White, and one was just so epic. I just love everything about the concept. So I'm in for Part 3. Good.
Quick question for you. I just realized, just remembered something. Would you put it up there with the Debt Collector movies, which was kind of had that comedy in them? With Scott?
Yeah, I'd say it's in the same type of slapstick genre.
I was about to mention Debt Collector too because of similarity.
I like Debt Collectors. Yeah. It's a similar parallel universe. I mean, Scott has a lot of stuff like that. But Accident Man 2, Hitman's Holidays, definitely check it out, guys. Stream it wherever you can. Give Scott Adkins a stream. Definitely looking forward to the John Wick 4 trailer. I'm going to check that out right after this and see who's in that. I'll put my thoughts on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, on IG. Zodiac Files Episode 4, the Gavita Beach Murders, is coming soon. And then I'm looking to get some more volumes of Zodiac Files interviews. I'm going to most likely be live with Darren Schaefer. He's the host of the DB Cooper Vortex podcast. That's the biggest DB Cooper podcast ever. This Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific. I'm first releasing it here. I'm also going to be at CooperCon this year. We're flying up to Vancouver next weekend. I'm up there with Nikki B. You check out my episode with him here. That's Nicholas Broughton of the DB Cooper Vortex. Darren Schaefer, Eric Eulis, who I had on my last episode before Nikki. Eric actually just announced his DB Cooper suspect today. The name is Vince Peterson. It's been broken by Oregon Mail. I'm going into some true crime stuff now. Sorry for the movie fans. So definitely check that out. The Oregon News just broke that. I believe Eric is doing a press conference tomorrow with the Oregon media. So I'm going to be out at DB Cooper next week. www.coopercon2022.com. Go get your tickets, get your t-shirt. I'm actually going to be going to Tina Bar with Eric. So I'm hoping to shoot some footage for you guys there and vlog there. That's where Brian Ingram found $5,800 of DB Cooper ransom money buried in on the river, the Columbia River beach. So I'm going to be up there with Eric Eulis. You've seen him on History Channel, History's Greatest Mysteries with Lawrence Fishburne, and you've seen him on Netflix, DB Cooper, Where Are You? Bruce A. Smith is going to be at CooperCon. Brian Ingram's going to be at CooperCon. Bill Mitchell's going to be at CooperCon. That's the dude that actually sat across from DB Cooper on Flight 305 Norjack. So he's one of the best DB Cooper witnesses as far as the guy that was like sitting right across from him and sizing him up. And also the guy who was the radar technician watching the flights during Norjack, Flight 305, Thanksgiving Eve, 1971. He is going to be at CooperCon. So it's going to be stacked, guys. Hopefully, if you're into true crime, if you're into the Cooper case, you can come make it out to CooperCon 2022. But that's it. It's going to be me and Darren, and then hopefully I can keep the big Cooper guests coming to the channel. So subscribe, share, Accident Man 2, Hitman's Holiday. I'm not sure what we got next for films, guys. I heard Vega said Athena was dope, so we'll check out Athena. If you have recommendations for us, leave them in the chat. We watch action, crime, kung fu, historical war epics. There's pretty much no genre we don't watch, guys, right? Animated.
What about Section 8, the other news?
Oh yeah, I'm down for that too. Yeah, I'm down for those too. Yeah, I'm down for those.
It's got Dolphin in it, man, so it should be
fine. Yeah, anything Dolphin Adkins is me. I saw the Creed 3 trailer. I don't know about it. I guess Sly's not in that one. I might skip that one, to be real with you guys. But PXF, Paradigm Review Show coming at you. Like, sub, share, leave your film recos in the comments. I'm live Saturday with Darren, and I'm going to try to vlog at CooperCon for you guys and bring you guys some, I might even, I want to give you guys a little secret spoiler. I might even have some of the CooperCon panel footage that I'll upload directly to the channel here. So look out for that. We're coming at you guys soon.
Yeah.
Final shouts, boys. Where do you find you guys?
Again, at the moment, you can just find me on here, and the main source for anything related to Planet X Media, which is planetxmedia.net.blogspot.com. I eventually will return to anti-social media, but I've had to take a step away from that for my mental health at the moment, fams. That's serious, straight up. Real talk, so that's why you won't find me on Twitter or Insta spam or anything, but I will return on there in the near future. Don't forget, PXM will be releasing the greatest Christmas album ever made, coming from yours truly, which is called Ball Ache. It's just the beginning. I'm very proud of that album, so we'll update you on when that's going to be dropping. I'm sure Max waiting with bated breath to hear his Lamy brother,
Ball Ache, the GOAT.
Songs. Especially the single Rudolph the Red Ball Ache Reindeer.
Jingle Balls, Jingle Ball Ache.
Jingle balls, jingle balls, oh.
Jingle Ball Ache, Gaz's favorite season. All right, guys. We're with that note, we're out that. Like, sub, share. More Cooper Chronicles coming soon. More Zodiac Files coming soon. And I have a decent-sized podcast I'm going to be appearing on, which will be my first appearance doing that. So you guys will be the first to know. I'll probably release that on Twitter and whatnot. Holla at me, the DB Cooper mystery group in Facebook. That's where you guys want to get at us. Get plugged in over there. I'm not a big Tracebook guy, as you know, but that's about the one group I pay attention to. All right, guys, we're out. Like, sub, share. We'll hopefully be back with some more film reviews for you guys soon and some come through action. We out. Peace.
Peace.